Hello there, my name is Vygandas Pliasas. Let me quickly introduce myself and talk about what good stuff I can do for you. So in total, I have 18 years of experience. Well, depends on when you're looking into this video. Roughly half it hands-on engineering. So I've been working on various projects: Java, C Sharp.NET, PHP, a lot of Node.js and React and TypeScript, and the other part in managerial roles such as engineering manager, R&D manager, head of engineering, CTO, and CEO of my own couple of companies. I will cover roles that basically are CTO or head for your company. We can even call it like engineering manager and project manager. And I will mentor and coach you and your team for what needs to be done to successfully reach the goals, and if you need advice. So talking about what you would be getting. So vendor evaluation, which is usually basically where you paying like a third parties, other companies. I can come in and look if they are delivering the quality job what you're paying for, and if it's all really good and something that meets the market standard. Also, I've been doing quite a lot recently agency replacements, where client is paying quite a lot, but not really getting results what they were expecting for. So I just make sure that those guys get fired, all of the knowledge and assets, especially assets, the code, the service, everything is on the client side. So basically organize the whole transitional period, get the service. I communicated properly to the agency so it wouldn't trigger a red alert for them and they wouldn't drop or run away or do something else. So it's basically safely, smoothly getting done, so everything would be as it is supposed to be. All the stuff on the client side owned by the client, controlled completely by the client. All the access and everything can be controlled from the client side. Moving forward, I will help you to evaluate the project to see what the budget might be needed. Roughly, there are usually multiple ways to approach it, and we could figure it out what would be the best route for you. I would pick the best technology stack because not every project needs the same technology stack. So I would just pick what will get the job done and what makes the most sense in your case. Moving forward, very important part is product. So I will work with you to build the roadmap. So if you want, you can do it yourself, or I can just jump in and do the whole thing hands-on, figure out, do the planning, and set up the tooling and processes and everything. Because without roadmap, it's a bit too random. You might eventually get into trouble, or then would say, well, we expected to be we expected to have more deliverables in the same time. So that's a thing we need to be really cautious about. So priorities lineup, what goes first, what goes next, what is the minimal viable product. From my experience, sometimes it happens that companies comes up with a lot of bells and whistles and cool stuff, but that stuff just only looks cool, but clients are not willing to pay for it because the project doesn't really solve the main thing. Why it's like the primary function is not there. So making sure that all of that stuff is there. And also risk assessment. I think I mentioned about that. And moving forward, then we would come to engineering and actual delivery of all of that stuff. So I can do software architecture, lay down the foundations, so the new team would be able to work. It depends on the budgeting and all of that stuff. So we can either hire architects or senior devs to work on it, or if we want to be more tight on that side, so I would just lay out all the critical parts and then get the team up and running and working with that stuff. Also, I would make sure that there is proper software development life cycle. So from the very beginning, where the idea comes in, what needs to be done, figuring out exactly the requirements, how exactly it would be working, into getting it done, getting into development environment for testing, staging, and then production. Also testing part, QA process, how we would approach that, and all other tools that might be needed. Also, so when getting back to the product, how we land all the requirements to the development team, we need to have product development lifecycle too, because the cycle is roughly idea, then discovery, basically figuring out what could be done, talking potentially with other clients or with other stakeholders, then impact assessment. So we need to really figure out whether, this moving a needle or increasing revenue, or maybe reducing churn, something else, or it's just nice to have things. So you get the idea how we connect all those, and basically when it goes into design, if it needs a design, then we need to get a sign off from everybody that we understand how this is going to work. Then engineers might chip in and tell, maybe we can do something a bit different. But roughly, going through the whole thing, going through the whole cycle, adapting it to your specific business needs, and making sure it all works well. So, if talking about hiring, I'm the guy who will assemble you the team. So that's a list of people that I've been hiring a lot in my experience, basically. So developers, QAs, designers, DevOps for getting the proper infrastructure, then team leads, engineering managers, product managers, product owners. It all depends on how you will scale. Usually new projects just starts with a very small team. And then when the time goes, or maybe investment comes in, it scales. But the whole point of this, that I set up all the procedures and everything in the way that if we need, we can scale. If you don't need, it can go slowly. So you're in a safe hands. And basically my approach, all the options that can be done is like, I can go full-time hands-on, I can go part-time hands-on, I can be more like an advisor or mentor and more talk, and you would be doing that, or I can even operate as a board advisor or NED, a non-executive director. So we have multiple options. We can discuss all of that, or you can just, give me a call and we can figure it out what might be the best option for you. So probably would be a good idea to talk about a bit about my experience. 18 years, but some highlights, bigger companies that I've been working with, and where I got a lot of my knowledge on how to deal with all those processes, how to do things, what not to do, and so on. Is like from United Kingdom, Huma, the most funded healthcare startup, heavily regulated by HIPAA, European MDR. It was licensed as a Class 2B device. It's like most intrusive thing. So it's kind of cool to have an app classified as that kind of medical device. Also Velocity Black, fast operations, building a team, working on R&D, working on European grants, building a couple teams, managing team in London, managing team in Lithuania, operations, development, engineering, machine learning, and stuff like that. Also Screen Cloud, so also building a flagship project, kind of Photoshop with moving videos. So at that time, I think Canva didn't even had anything like that. So that was pretty cool thing. US-based company, so Kayak, probably one of the biggest travel and flights booking platforms. I think they were even on Family Guy. So that big of the company. Also worked in TopTal Core, like inside itself. Also as an engineering manager, managed teams and seen a lot of stuff, how to do things and what does it mean to be in a hyper growth state. And locally in my own country, like we worked in huge outsourcing companies. Baltica Equipment, for example, it was one of the biggest vehicle tracking and Internet of Things companies. So that brought quite a lot of good information and experience to me. So if that all sounds good and it is something that you might need, so here's my email and LinkedIn. Feel free to contact, even if it's a question. So might be any of the help from my side. So won't ask, you won't know. And in the summary, so I'm the guy who will basically get your idea done, will fix process, will get you a team of pros who will deliver and work on it. And basically have the know-how in-house in your company, not on some agency, and will fix other organizational issues if such is there. Thank you. I hope this video was informative. Have a great time. I hope to see you